Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Snoo with the Crew, Episode 3, with Adam Gattrell.
Hello.
Ross Murphy.
Hello.
Bobbin Dixon.
Hello.
And me. I might actually introduce myself this week. It's Chris Quinton.
Hello.
Hello.
Alright.
Alright.
There's shed loads of news to talk about, so let's just pile straight in with that. Specifically, comic book news. It's all gone a bit crazy this week, so I am just going to list through them. We had a first look at the Shocker, which is one of the villains for the new Spider-Man Homecoming movie, who looks pretty cool. He's pretty close to the comic.
He does. How is Shocker not Electro?
He's not.
Different characters.
But they sound literally the same.
No, one's just like got shooty wristbands.
Does the Shocker say really bad jokes?
Yeah, and,
is
and
he
Electro's like made of electricity.
Shocker, the one with the like smoke rings that come out at the end of his hands.
Yeah.
They are blasts of high frequency
Energy
sound.
or something.
air.
Oh.
Yeah.
High.
Standard Spider-Man
Yeah.
villain.
Yeah, wristbands, shooty things. Gotta just dodge and then tie his hands together.
Defeated Spider-Man first time they met, apparently, because Spider-Man was having an off day.
Yeah.
He had a big scrap with the lizard. Had a bit of a dodgy arm going on.
Yeah, he was poorly, wasn't he? no, genuinely, he was a bit. I thought one of them he was a bit poorly, and then who's the Hunter guy?
Craven.
Didn't he like defeat him once as well?
I think he's been defeated quite a lot of times, to be fair.
Yeah. Spider-Man's died at least 3 times that I can think of.
He's been cloned.
Yeah.
He's been somebody else.
He's
been
been
Gwen Stacy.
Yeah. There's been in various different versions of him in the universe.
He's been Deadpool.
There was
I think he still is.
Captain Spider Britain.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
fuck comics, next.
Well, sticking with comics.
Damn
Namor. We all familiar with him? Like
No.
Marvel's version of Aquaman.
Oh.
I always thought he's a bit weird. Looks like an underwater elf. And he's got little wings on his ankles, and for some reason he can fly. And his name comes from, fun fact, his name comes from the word Roman, backwards. Anyway, they are...
Stop. We're having too much fun. Please calm down.
Sorry everyone. So, there's talk of a secret project that Marvel are working on, and turns out that it might just be an appearance by him in the Inhumans TV series.
Or
Ooh.
his
I'd be
name
well
would
up
be
for
spelled
that. He's one of
backwards.
the main Illuminati that leads to big storylines. All they need is Professor X and Reed Richards back, and then they've got the whole lot. So we'll see what happens.
However, we're still dealing with 2 different studios. At the end of the day, they're producing an Inhumans TV series because they can't use the word mutants.
Inhumans.
Basically.
That sounds like the word for intercourse. We go inhuman.
Yes, that is exactly why it's on TV,
Cool.
and they don't
On
say
Bravo.
mutants.
Old school reference.
Russell Crowe he says he's up for playing Cabel in Deadpool 2, and Ron Perlman has been spoken to as well, apparently, which I think is cracking myself.
Well, I think Ron Perlman is better suited for the look of Cabel. Russell Crowe is the only good thing about Man of Steel, so
Yeah.
if he's up for it, fair play, because the rest of that film was shit.
I still quite like Man of Steel.
I've never bothered with it. I just don't like Superman.
I just googled Cable and all I got is tits everywhere. There's a video game called Cable and it looks very Japanese.
Have you spelt Cabel correctly, or have you put Cabal?
I put Cabal.
There you go, you spelt it wrong.
Do you spell it like it's just the length of...
Yeah, length of Cable,
Right, okay.
not like
Not
Cabal.
That's what he is. He's just a length of cable.
It's just the length.
It travels through
It's-
time.
It's just the lengths. Oh, now I've just Google Cable and I've just got pictures of cables.
Well, shocking that would come up.
Well, you think when you type in anything in Google now, normally you get whatever film has been out that involves that word. That's the first time, like, considering the news, that he's just got pictures
Well,
of
I
actual
remember from
cables.
years ago when I worked in Ross and White, wanted some rubble for something and just put in hardcore in Britain. I can tell you that the websites did not contain any rubble.
Oh, he's quite generic, isn't he? He's about as generic
He's
as
like a
they
distant
get.
relative of Scott Summers, isn't
He
he?
is, yeah.
So he's
What's
like
his powers?
time travel.
What? He doesn't look like
He's
a
got a
time
metal
traveller.
arm.
Just one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And depending on if they go with the Ultimates version or the standard universe version, there might be a possibility that
shoulder
he's got
pads.
Wolverine claws as well.
Is he an X-Men?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, sort of.
He belongs to Fox because he appears in X-Men.
Yeah. Hence the Deadpool Cabel cross, because they were in comics together a lot.
There is a picture of him here with the Avengers badge on instead of the X-Men badge. So.
Yeah, that's Marvel.
Just saying. I was on my Comic Pro.
And he's a picture of him there on Ready Steady Cook. So I don't know what that means. I made that up.
Cabel on Ready Steady Cook.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it was him versus Rosemary Strager.
Who won?
Actually, Rosemary Strager, she made a lovely flan.
Without a
And
soggy
then he
bottom.
killed her.
Yeah. After passionately making love to her for 10 minutes.
Speaking of soggy bottoms, the X-Force movie... the X-Force movie has got a director.
That wasn't a segue.
What's the connection to Soggy Bottoms?
Don't even say Ready Steady Cook, Soggy Bottoms is Bake Off, so you're completely off everything.
Oh shit.
If you said, oh, red tomatoes and green peppers, talking of red tomatoes, Deadpool wears red, there you go, bang, boom, boom, segue.
Mic drop.
Yeah, and I'm out.
Right, Joe Canahan, director of The Grey, is directing...
Wolves.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson.
Is that Liam Neeson fights wolves?
Yeah. So it's
not
Taken,
seen it.
except he's the one that's been taken, and it's wolves instead of terrorists.
So not Taken.
They weren't terrorists.
Just the same lead actor.
Yeah, but it watching it is just like Taken. Same sort of feel, except it's wolves.
Joe Canahan is co-writing with Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah.
as well as directing, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
I don't know, because Ryan Reynolds is pretty into his Deadpool.
I like Ryan
he
Reynolds.
actually is really into it.
He's
so-
the most important thing, isn't he?
Yeah,
in
he's
honesty.
very important. He's a very handsome man. I say this every week, but he's very handsome.
You got a proper boy crush on him, haven't
Yeah.
you? Wow.
And also Deadpool 2 has got a new screenwriter. That's Drew Goddard. That's the guy who wrote Cabin in the Woods, World War Z and Cloverfield, which...
I like World War Z.
I like
I
World War
fucking
Z.
hate World War Z.
Oh, loads of
Really?
people hate it. I thought
To be honest, like
it
it was the best big budget zombie film I've seen in
Yeah.
ages.
I was thinking as well, with Brad
Since
Pitt,
Dawn of the Dead remake.
Even that, it's good.
Oh,
I
It's
thought it was
not-
amazing.
fucking love
But
it.
with Brad Pitt, apart from the Oceans films, he's not done that many sequels.
The one thing I loved about reading World War Z is it completely ratified my zombie escape plan, because the bit where they talk about in Britain, everyone survived in Britain by just going into castles because castles are fucking zombie proof. They just went, they just moved the Queen and Parliament to Windsor Castle, shut the gates, and everyone just fought zombies with long swords and broadswords.
Sweet.
Which is a good way of getting rid of zombies, because we don't have guns in this country. If you're listening from another country,
They're not.
Look at your analytics. People are listening in different countries. They
Yeah.
really are.
Okay,
I will show you after the show.
okay. Sorry, everyone who's in a different country.
Say hello to Canada.
Hi, Canada.
Thank you.
Very clean country. I just wanted to add that. I've been there once. Very nice.
And they've got a shitload of guns.
They have got guns, but they're not dickheads like the Americans. So they won't just go and kill loads of kids.
Hi, America. Oh, Hellboy 3. It's not
Is it?
happening, is it?
No.
Cancelled it.
Wow, it should.
Wow. Yeah.
Loved Hellboy 1 and 2. Hellboy 2, I think, is nearly as good, or maybe if not better than the first.
I didn't think it was as good a movie, personally.
I loved it.
However, I enjoyed it quite a lot.
I just really like the characters in it. All of the characters are really, they've done it well, that they're all likeable. Even the ones you're supposed to hate,
The Angel
you
of Death in it was amazing.
enjoy hating them. Yeah.
I really liked the fact that Bros was in it, one half of 90s
Yeah.
pop sensations Bros.
Was he?
Yeah,
Yes, Luke, was it
Goss.
Luke Goss or Matt Goss? I think it was Luke.
Yeah, Luke Goss.
Yeah, he's the Prince Nevada, or
Is
he was
he?
calling it.
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
Fact.
But you wouldn't realise he was the dude from Bros, like, unless someone pointed it out to you, and then you go, ah.
Yeah.
Hang on, you just made me realise, isn't the twins from, is it Spandau Ballet?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
played the Crays.
They're the Crays,
They're not,
aren't
they're
they?
not
Yeah,
twins,
yeah.
they're just brothers.
Just brothers?
Yeah. Yeah, they were the
Steve
Crays.
and Martin.
Weirdly, Jerome, is it Jerome or Robson from Robson and Jerome is Bronn in Game of Thrones, who's
Yes.
like one of the best characters in the whole
Yeah, a lot
Game
of
Thrones.
like
Who is
Yeah.
it?
a lot of
Probably.
UK 80s and
No,
90s pop
Jerome
groups of-
Flynn.
Yeah.
I know the names.
Yeah.
I've got all the 90s pop duos I'm down with.
But it's amazing how many of those have ended up in TV and film. like from the 80s.
I thought
and 90s.
Robson Green just goes fishing a
Well-
lot now.
He does, yeah.
That's what he does.
But then you had one of the ones from Spandau Ballet was in EastEnders for ages, wasn't he? As well?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
Martin
he
Kemp,
does,
he's been doing
yeah.
it for ages, yeah.
It's
But
amazing.
Gary, no, it wasn't Steve Kemp, it was Gary Kemp, sorry, error there. Gary Kemp, that was, he only, well, as far as I know, he was only in the Cray film. I don't know what other acting jobs he had. Tell you what though, it was gold. Boom.
Right, let's move on before it gets too bad with more jokes.
Did Spandau Ballet do gold then?
Yes, always
Really?
believe in your soul.
Oh,
It's true. That's another joke you see, because I did true.
Oh, well done. Do we know who Chris McKay is?
No.
Oh, I do know the name, but carry on.
So he's the guy that did Lego Batman.
Yeah.
I think he's now on the helm for Lego Batman, and he's doing the Nightwing movie.
This sounds interesting because it's the Batman-related character they haven't done yet, so it actually might be a good film.
Do you guys know who Nightwing is?
No.
Is this? Do they just get Joseph Gordon-Levitt from the end of Dark Knight?
No, because he was a shite character.
Oh, okay. I just
Like,
thought that's
yeah.
where they would go with that.
No, because they're not connected anymore, are they? I think the Nightwing character is basically one of the early Robins. I think it's Tim Drake.
I can tell you. Right, Dick Grayson, who was the original
Yes.
Robin.
He
Becomes
becomes Nightwing.
We've got to do a little bit about Robins because that's
Yeah.
there's fucking gold. Right, so Dick Grayson became Nightwing, and then Jason Todd came along to become Robin, and DC at some point decided that they might kill him off, and they put him in a predicament where they ran a storyline called A Death in the Family. The Joker took him captive and tied him to a chair, and then they left the public to vote on whether or not he should die. And 5,343 votes came in for him to die, over 5,271 for him to live. It's pretty bloody close. That's what happens when you have democracy.
So he does. If the video games are anything to go by, he doesn't die, but the Joker breaks him and he becomes the Arkham Knight.
No,
That's
not
what
in the
happens
comics.
video
Yeah,
game.
in the comics he does die, but then he comes back as the Red Hood.
It does after some sort of reality
Yeah,
altering event of some description.
Basically,
Comes back as the Red Hood.
since I can't remember what date, in the last few years they've reset the DC universe pretty much every year. So I've lost count of
Was
what's
it
happened
New
to who.
53 now?
So it's
It was
called
52.
Rebirth now, and
Right,
they've
okay.
brought the Watchmen in, and there's this whole storyline with Batman and the Watchmen and
Oh, I like
stuff. And
Watchmen.
so do I, but not in the same universe as Superman. Yeah, next Robin there was
Tim Drake
yeah
after that, and then I think he was injured or something, and his girlfriend took over, Stephanie Brown.
That's it.
And then Tim Drake came back, and then I don't know what happened to him, but Damian Wayne, Bruce Wayne's son, became Robin eventually.
And it's a girl in Batman Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns, yeah,
Right.
Carrie Kelly. Right,
Moving on.
and last bit of comic book news. Guardians of the Galaxy should have a trailer out today. I've not seen it yet.
I still haven't seen the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I've seen
What?
the first 30 minutes 3 times, exactly the same place each time, because something's happened and I've had to stop watching it.
How?
Mate.
I will do it. If it's anything like all the other origin stories, I'll hate it, 'cause it's always the same layout. As I said last week, it's just bullshit.
No, it's a bit different. So they've still got the
Oh, is it
Marvel-
wrong then? Is he going to be, oh look, he's been recruited and now he's got a bad path and there's some sadness because something happened, someone else wore the suit and they died, but you've got to like avenge the death and oh god, and then they've won.
To be honest, it's
Every
more
time.
Star Wars than
Yeah.
it is a comic book movie.
When I didn't know they were going to be doing any more Star Wars, I thought, there we go, we've got Star Wars for the new generation in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then they've gone and done Star Wars as
also,
well.
the new Star Trek movies are very similar, aren't they, as well?
Yeah.
I'm still only halfway through Star Trek Beyond. I've not managed to go back to
It's
it
really
yet.
good. I enjoyed it.
Right, other trailers, seeing as we just mentioned a trailer. Have you guys seen the trailer for Skull Island? The most recent one?
Yes.
It was just released a couple of days ago.
Yes.
Fuck me, have you guys seen? You don't watch
No.
trailers, Ross. But
Well, I say I don't watch trailers. I try not to watch trailers. That's a huge blanket statement in it, saying I don't watch trailers.
I recommend you watch this trailer just because of the fucking skillful editing in it. It's amazing. It's like its own little incredible little featurette to music. It's very good.
Oh, I'll watch it then.
And speaking of like little featurette jobbies, Alien Covenant. Did you see that one at all? Like a preview movie, little.
No.
They've done like a little, like 5-minute short movie about the crew's first night together on the Covenant before they go off to.
Well,
inhabit
literally,
the
it's
planet.
movie footage. It's a bit of the movie.
It's not a bit of the movie. It's a short, which is going to be separate. It's a little featurette. It's really good.
Wow.
It's nice. It's got a little moment in it where you think,
Is Sigourney in it?
Oh, is there going to be an alien? And then, yeah, I won't
Is
spoil
Sigourney in
it.
it?
No,
Oh.
I don't think she's in Covenant, is she?
Yes.
Is she?
Yeah, she was in all the promo shots.
What, for Covenant?
I'm sure she was. Is Covenant after Prometheus?
Yes.
Oh, then no. Oh, there
Can
was more alien news with like there was loads of art with her like.
Yeah, that's the guy that did Chappie, isn't it? He's doing an Aliens movie. If it goes ahead.
Neil Blomkamp.
Neil Blomkamp.
Is that the guy that did District 9 and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good film, that.
I like all
Like
the
Chappie,
films.
it wasn't what I was expecting.
I loved it, Chappie. It was brilliant. It was exactly taking the guys that are in it, the band.
Oh yeah, what are they called?
Diane Wood.
Yeah, Diane Woods.
They're fucking mental, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they
Amazing.
took their style of community and where they live and the sort of subculture that they live within.
For me, it
kind
was
of warped it into a gang for the film. And I
Short
think it works
Circuit
well.
for the 21st century.
Much better than Short Circuit in
What?
theme.
No.
Yeah, the theme and the style and what it says at the end is much more.
You know what I mean? I was just
Yeah.
joking. Cut that
Yeah.
out. I didn't get it. Carry on.
I did get it. I think it's important.
They're really bloody good actors, aren't they? The guys from
Diane Woods.
Diane Woods.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they apparently they're not. They were just themselves, and they were notoriously difficult to work with because
Oh,
they
really?
just fucked about the whole time because they didn't want to do what the director wanted to do.
Right. Well,
Mm.
bloody good on him for pulling a fairly decent movie. I know it gets
Well,
panned.
I've heard different
but-
things from him in other interviews though. That's it's weird. He says one thing one minute and says other things the next.
I think
so.
probably as a director who wants other people to work with him, he might have to say one thing.
Yeah.
But
They've got their own film they're making with other people at the moment. To do with they've taken time out from doing music to work on a film based around their characters on stage because obviously they are characters. What they did in the film isn't them, it's the characters that they play in public.
If it takes 10 years, you know why?
Yeah, yeah.
Can we really quickly just discuss the need to make prequels? It's happened to Star Wars now with Rogue One. It happened with the fucking prequels, didn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, but the whole Star Wars thing's a cash cow. It's like, let's make Rogue One. Why? Well, we don't need to tell that story. Yeah, but we could, and we might as well to make money. All right, that's why that's happening.
Removing that layer of mystery it has a knock-on effect. It diminishes. Like A New Hope's still brilliant. It's just that little bit worse because of Rogue One and
I don't like Rogue One.
Alien.
However, you wouldn't show them to your kids in chronological order.
Alien is just that little bit worse because of Prometheus.
Hmm.
And now they're talking about doing like the bit from Harry Potter which they talk about but was never really in the books, like the rise of Voldemort and stuff.
See, I don't have a problem with the lore of Prometheus, going back to that, just because I think it just opens up the universe really nicely, and there's a massive amount that they can do with it now. There's nothing wrong with that. It's, for me, it's like, I've always been a fan of H.R. Giger, the guy that did all the original concept artwork
Yeah.
and stuff. So for me, like seeing stuff appear on the screen that I know that he designed, especially stuff that he did for other projects and things that were included in Prometheus, for me it's like, yeah, wank bank stuff. I love it.
But could you get that from an art book?
Well, yeah, but I quite like movies.
Yeah, I just like there's certain movies that they just get so much of their tone from what's not said, and it's like Alien is fucking brilliant because it's why are they there, and then what. You're not supposed to know what's going on. Nobody's supposed to know. And now we know that there's these like godlike creatures that probably made these aliens just to control the population of the solar system, galaxy.
The way I think I
Exactly.
prefer to think about it is that you're going to end up with hopefully a decent trilogy of movies. I know Prometheus doesn't get good ratings. I didn't mind it. There are some bloody stupid story choices in it. However, I think the content is pretty good. And we might end up with a decent trilogy, and if we do, you've got you know, some decent enough Alien movies if you ignore 3 onwards. And you've got a decent Prometheus, if you like, trilogy.
3 and 4 aren't decent movies in the
Not
Alien.
really.
Third one's alright. I don't like Resurrection.
See, I don't mind the third. I can see why it got slated, but if I was to quickly put the original 4 in order of favourites, I would go Aliens, Alien Resurrection, Alien 3 and Alien.
Really?
Mm.
Have you seen Alien 3 recently?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
The CGI on it's terrible.
It is really bad.
But if you ignore that, I quite liked it.
Anyway, my point was, we're going to end up with like several movie franchises that are just connected quite nicely. And I think that's the same answer as to why we end up getting prequels to everything. Because we live in the age of the franchise. And in fact, we've been living in the age of the franchise for fucking decades.
And a lot of people really enjoy that stuff. Some people really enjoy prequels to stuff. Other people don't. Rogue One I really liked. The original prequels of Star Wars, I didn't.
I'm with you on that.
So I think for me, it's like those original prequels were not what I wanted from prequels, whereas the one, Rogue One, is a lot more in keeping with what I wanted. So for me, it works. But then for other people, they'll love all of it. For some people, they'll hate all of it. And other people will love the prequels and not like Rogue One. So I suppose it depends on your taste.
I think when something speaks to you and then you go in the way that you just go, oh, I really want to know more about that, you have to rely on films, more content being made, and sometimes you just won't agree with it, will you? It's like The Matrix. You can't get to the end of The Matrix and not go, fucking hell, what happens next? And then they made films telling you what happens next and you're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Bollocks.
Yeah, but then sometimes films don't need sequels. Like Matrix didn't need a sequel. It's like a lot of films. It had a perfectly good cliffhanger ending that makes you go,
Just been done.
he's won, he's saved the day, there is the possibility of more, but we don't necessarily need to see it. And then they did try and do it, and
Have the Wachowskis made a single good movie since the first
Matrix.
No.
Matrix?
Don't know.
No,
I
they're
don't even
the
know.
dicks
I
chopped
don't
off.
even
No,
know.
they're both women now.
Only one of
What?
them.
They're both women now.
What?
I thought only one
No,
of them
no,
had
they're
a sex
both.
change.
No, they're both women now.
Oh right, okay.
The
I didn't
Wachowski
realise
brothers
that.
are both now women.
Are they the
The
Wachowski
Wachowski
sisters?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, they've been working on other films, but I can't think for the life of me what they've made since the Matrix films.
Jupiter Ascending?
Didn't like.
Swordfish?
That was weird.
Terrible.
So they're now called Lana and Lily Wachowski now. They do not look like attractive ladies. Cloud Atlas, I didn't like that film.
Oh,
I thought that was
actually-
nonsense. They did that film.
I like Cloud Atlas.
I thought just, what a load of bullshit. It was rubbish. I'll
Yeah.
tell you one they did before, 1995, the first thing they directed and did a screenplay for was Assassins, starring Banderas and Stallone. Classic movie.
Okay,
Yes.
so everything from then onwards. No, everything from Matrix onwards.
Yeah.
Dog shit.
Pants.
Okay.
But boundary pushers.
Well,
Technical
that's
boundary
Just to
pushers.
show everyone that. If
Wachowskis.
anyone wants to know, we're having a look at a picture of Lily Wachowski. Adam, would you?
Don't know.
Yeah. Don't know. You would.
So, fucking Suicide Squad got best makeup at the Oscars, didn't it?
Yeah.
How?
Because it didn't really have a great deal of competition.
But the other, I saw a thing today, and it was what should have won. I don't know what film it was from, but it was a really intricate piece of makeup and artwork on someone's head, and it was incredible.
Ooh, I
Making
looked.
someone look like a creature, and then it was like, how did that win? That not win, and then Suicide Squad, and then a picture of Harley Quinn. It was like,
I had a scan today and I couldn't see anything. What was the film?
don't know. It didn't say. It just come up with should have won and did win. I don't know what film it was.
Well, it was only up against 2 other films. One of them was Star Trek Beyond,
Could have been from that.
Right, that was good.
and the other one was called A Man Called Ove, which looked to be just about an old man, and I couldn't really see why.
Was it somebody who's made up to look
This
like
is
an
the
old
picture
man?
that I saw today.
Well, that's a good question.
So it was, how did that not win?
Which is basically a beautiful alien head with brain bits coming out.
Oh my
and
God, what's that?
amazing
Like incredible.
skull snail pieces.
But we don't know what the movie is.
That's Star Trek Beyond.
Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah, that was from
So-
Star Trek Beyond.
See, was Cara Delevingne mostly CGI? Because her makeup's pretty cool.
What's she in?
She's in Suicide Squad.
Which
She's
one
the
is she?
baddie. She's the baddie.
The Enchantress. But yeah, I suppose you could argue that it's the award for the best made-up character that doesn't do anything. Because, in my opinion, Killer Croc's the only one with some massive amounts of makeup going on.
Oh, well, yeah,
And
unless you count the hair colouring and tattoos on the Joker, or the slight makeup on what's her name. Yeah, no, there's not a lot of the Killer Croc's the only makeup in it,
It's
and
not
it's
fantastic.
not that great.
No.
And most of the makeup and design on Cara Delevingne was basically just costume. It wasn't really makeup; it was just costume and graphics. So I don't understand how that's won that. That's toss.
Well, let's briefly talk about the Oscars and how to people like me and you they're mostly irrelevant. I think it's just, as I've got older,
yeah.
I think
the Oscars are more for the people in the industry, because I don't think that most of the films that are in the Oscars are films that I would watch, and the ones that I would watch are often the worst ones from those areas or genres of film. So like the worst war film will end up getting an Oscar. The one that I've seen that I would say is better than the other one, it doesn't even get nominated. Do you know what I mean? But then maybe that's personal taste, and I'm not looking at all the little intricate things that they're looking at. But then makeup wise, like Suicide Squad, it doesn't make sense that works that way.
I'll tell you what, in actual fact, I imagine quite a lot of them were practical effects. Hacksaw Ridge is pretty bloody gory.
Yeah.
I would have thought that makeup in there would have been pretty high.
But then do they go with special effects and it's practical effects rather than makeup for that?
Maybe.
Maybe that's where the thing lies. And
they got an Oscar for sound editing anyway.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Which, you know, I suppose I had to get something for...
Imagine just be like, we won an Oscar, what did you win it for? Oh, yeah,
Well,
we just won an Oscar. Oh, that's really cool, Best Picture. Yeah, we'll just pretend it was Best Picture. Sound editing. Well done.
The thing is, they've dropped the ball on Best Picture so many times.
What happened with the muck-up with La La Land? There was a big hoo-ha with that, wasn't there?
They gave the wrong card. Basically, the real short version is the people who hold the cards, gave out the reserve card for the previous awards before, and so it said Emma Stone, La La Land, and it should have said Moonlight for Best Picture.
Right.
So the guy on stage obviously looked at it and thought, Emma Stone, La La Land, that's a bit weird, it's got her name, and just went La La Land anyway. And
it actually said, what was her award? Best Actress?
No, it just said Emma Stone, La La Land.
Yeah, so he
it
obviously
literally
just
tells you what to read.
Yeah.
And he looked at it knowing that it was the only really funny bit from this is that Warren Beatty, he, instead of just going, I think this is wrong, he just threw Faye Dunaway under the bus and just went,
handed it to her,
just showed it to her, and she went, La La Land! And he probably just went did the fucking Homer Simpson walking back into the bush.
So apparently Ryan Gosling was sat there at a table, picked up what was going on really early on, and was just sat there and a good old laugh about it, going, look at all these people getting up to do their acceptance speeches. Oh, they've started their acceptance speeches. Okay, we're 3 acceptance speeches in, and they still haven't fucking worked it out. And they literally did 3 acceptance speeches from different people.
Like the ones that you don't see on the telly, like the producers.
I say good on the producer from La La Land, who just bloody took the bull by the horns and came up to the microphone and said, you know what, this is wrong, it's Moonlight. Get everybody off the stage sort of thing. And epic fuck up. And quite a few epic fuck ups as well, I understand. Right, we should probably crack on. Bloody Star Wars, Ross. You love Star Wars. Do you know about
Star Wars, don't I?
The despecialised versions?
Yeah.
Do you know they're doing a release?
Apparently.
What of the normal, non-digitally enhanced?
Apparently, it'll be announced at
You can get them anywhere.
Where not right.
Not legally.
Apparently, they are like Francis Ford Coppola did his super shit hot scan and restore of The Godfather, which if you haven't seen it on Blu-ray, get the Blu-ray of it. It's fucking phenomenal.
Oh, okay.
They've done. Apparently, it's going to be announced at Star Wars Celebration, which is either March or April. They have done a 2K and a 4K restoration of the original theatrical cuts of Star Wars, which is what people have been clamouring for about 20 years. It must be nearly 20 years. It must be 20 years since the special editions came out.
So they're not having any of the extra stuff, they're just digitally enhancing the original theatrical releases. So is that going to be the one, when it was released theatrically, because I was in the first film, Jabba the Hutt wasn't Jabba the Hutt, it was just a Scottish man wearing a fur jacket.
In the original film, Jabba the Hutt's not in it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That scene just will not be in it.
No, but there was there's a scene where the bit where he's talking to Jabba as he's
it
getting
was
on
originally it did shots on the.
It was just a bloke.
Not in the theatrical release.
That wasn't in the release.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, the theatrical release didn't have that bit in.
He was
Right.
Yeah, they put it back in and then added Jabba the Hutt.
Right, because you can watch it on YouTube and it's just a fat Scottish guy in a fur jacket.
Yeah.
And where's my money? It's awful. Check it out, people in Canada. So have they got the actor? Are they going to have a bit in when, because Greedo obviously shot first. Is that in?
Greedo not shooting will be in.
Yeah, but Greedo shot first. That was in the original one. That Greedo
No,
shot
no.
first.
In the
No.
theatrical one, he doesn't shoot at all.
Hand just blows, and the whole point.
Yeah.
The reason everyone's so angry about it is because it's just set. It tells you everything you need to know about Han Solo as a character at that point in time in his life. He just unclips his gun and just blows Greedo away. Like literally, he just goes, "I can't be bothered to take this conversation any further." Just goes thunk.
No remorse. Just.
And that's what gets everybody so upset about it. And also, what annoys everybody a lot as well is George Lucas is a huge proponent of getting copies of movies and holding them for preservation purposes.
Yeah.
Like getting the original rolls of like Citizen Kane and stuff and going, put them in the museum. And he stands there and he goes, put them in, and he even went, I think he even went and delivered a speech to Congress in America going, these things are works of art and they should be blah 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 kept in a museum like Indiana Jones. And he fucks about with his movie more than anybody else, and it really annoys people.
Well, yeah, that's understandable. He did make a fucking mess of them, but that's a matter of opinion maybe. Yeah, but then at the same time you get people in the same situation that Bobbin's in, where he doesn't appear to know what the original release. What happened.
Yeah, there's been so
Don't
many
belittle
versions.
me.
I'm not belittling you.
No, but there's a lot of people that, like you, think that the whole Greedo Han Solo thing's a certain way because there's so many versions, and people just get so confused.
I always thought
by
the
all
original was
versions.
that Greedo shot first and then he shot him.
Fair enough. I actually showed the other half a video of all of the digitally added in bits just recently,
Cool.
just to show just how
Surprised she's still with
horrendous.
you.
So
to
if
be
she
honest.
wasn't,
They are.
so if she wasn't pregnant, you'd be single right now.
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah.
We're having a discussion at the time about Grand Moff Tarkin and about how bloody awful he looks.
So when you said discussion, was you just talking at her and she's just like
No.
crying?
But I have this issue with that because so many people say that Grand Moff Tarkin and Princess Leia look awful in Rogue One.
I know.
And the amount of people I know who like Star Wars, have watched all the Star Wars, but
I think she looked awful. I thought they did a good job of him.
well, yeah, but a lot of people I know who are very intelligent people and are well sort of into Star Wars, but not as into it as maybe like myself, or definitely nowhere near as close as Ross. They watched it and they didn't even realise they were graphics.
No, that's what I'm trying
And
to say.
that's-
Is
yeah,
that Jenny
yeah.
didn't realise that
No.
Grand Moff Tarkin was digitally.
No, and a lot of
So
people won't.
I tried not to research a lot about Rogue One. And then I went in, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, wow, that's amazingly well done.
Because I didn't even realise at first. I thought he was still alive, and they
No.
just put graphics on to make him look younger.
He died years ago.
Yeah, I didn't realise it was
Pushing.
another actor.
The trouble
so
is,
it's
though,
quite
I
clever.
think personally, is that in 10 years' time you're going to have the same problem with it that you have with the fucked about versions of the original trilogy. That it's going to look shit, and
Yeah.
you're going to be able to notice it a fucking mile off.
When I just remember when I probably already said this on the podcast, but when I was sat in the cinema next to my brother and Grand Moff Tarkin came on, for the first 3.5 seconds I was like, Grand Moff Tarkin, and then I just turned around to my brother and went, Polar Express, because it just looked like the shittest rotoscope CGI
Yeah, yeah.
where they
Yeah.
film it and then they animate
Yeah.
over it, and it's just
In a certain style that kids seem to like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, what are we on next?
Bloody. Right, the first look at the Han Solo movie cast. Did
I saw this.
you?
Yeah.
I don't like whoever's playing Chewie because he looks really... I know it's just a mask.
He's going to
but
be
it
in a
just looks
costume,
weird.
mate.
Yeah,
You're not
but
going to see his
no,
real face.
This is the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
No, is that they've made Chewie look weird. And I don't know, it's because he might have a different shaped head to Peter Mayhew.
Oh, I haven't
it
actually
looks
seen
weird.
it with a costume.
Yeah,
on.
fuck you with
Oh,
your
right.
rudeness.
I thought you meant about the new guy playing him.
No, as in
Oh.
the actual costume. If you listened, you would have found out, wouldn't
Yeah.
you? Sorry, Bobbin, said Adam in the podcast.
Sorry, Bob.
I'll
are
let
we
it down.
assuming that the Chewbacca costume is the Chewbacca costume from Revenge of the Sith?
Right, well,
I don't know.
Peter Mayhew was
I've
in
only seen a
Revenge the
picture of
Sith,
all the
wasn't he?
cast. I haven't seen the actual
It
costume.
looks weird.
I think Donald Glover looks fucking fantastic and he's not even dressed up as Mando. But
No.
I'm just a white
He's
person,
good, look
so
good.
he probably looks.
Have you got a
like
man
Mando
crush on
to
Donald
me.
Glover as well?
I know. I just think he's
Is
fucking.
he?
I have. I
Fucking
think he's
love
amazing.
Community.
He's a good actor.
And
He's a good musician. He's a good stand-up. He's a good poetry writer. He's funny as anything.
he's brilliant in
Adam's
The
getting
Martian.
an erection.
He's brilliant in The Martian as well.
Yeah.
He's one of those people that make you think, can he really be producing all this stuff? Is it humanly possible?
He's like Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx does everything: acting,
Very
writing,
talented man.
singing, dancing, playing, like everything you can think of. Like, those two, between the two of them, do so much. It's insane.
Yeah,
I don't understand how either of them get anything done in their
There's
actual
quite a lot
life.
of quite a lot of high performing people out there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like you can take that. You can say that about Elon Musk, and you can say
Yeah,
that
yeah.
about Beyonce. They all have the same amount of hours in the day as we do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
admittedly, Elon Musk is a billionaire.
Yeah, and
But-
what he's doing is mainly in one area. Where Beyonce is only in one area, whereas Jamie Foxx and Donald Glover, they are doing so much different things in the same amount of hours. Those guys are doing loads in one area, so it's just
Well, I'd argue
impressive.
that
but
Elon Musk is like he's putting people in space and building batteries and electric.
yeah, but it's all
cars.
technology.
He's basically
yeah.
Tony Stark.
Yeah,
isn't he,
yeah.
at
He's
this
just
point?
doing technology stuff, but they're kind of hitting every angle. It's pretty crazy.
Last bit of news as well is that Avatar, the sequels are starting to shoot, or they're starting production in August.
It's a bit late, isn't it? To
This
do
is Ferngully
sequels?
2. Brilliant.
I think he's doing 3 or 4 at the same time.
It's been ages since the first
I
one.
know.
No one's going to remember.
It's only been
Wow.
7 years.
Yeah, that's a long time in cinema.
Not James Cameron. Just he works at his own speed, doesn't he?
He gives no shits what you think, Adam.
Yeah, it's still
He doesn't care
Avatar
for
wasn't
you.
very good. Was it?
No.
He's pretty good at waiting for new technology as well, isn't he? He tends to be at the forefront. He tends to be.
He's also a fucking incredible filmmaker. Whether you like his films or not, he doesn't do like half measures, does he?
Well, no, he goes all out, but then sometimes he goes all out and it just doesn't look very good.
Talking of things related to James Cameron, the sad news this week is Bill Paxton has passed away at the age of 61, was it?
Bloody
Yeah.
61. That was
But we've left this till the end of the news, not because we didn't deem it important enough, but it's actually our topic for the week. We are going to talk about some of the films of Bill Paxton,
Yes, we are.
because, let's be honest,
We
some of them are
should.
fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go in. Aliens. He's in Aliens. He's the best thing in Aliens.
Get
Aliens
over it.
is one of the best films ever made. I think the thing is with Aliens, I was probably young enough. When I say I was at the right age, I was too young to really.
I was born the year it was released.
I was too young because between that, RoboCop and Predator, they were 3 movies in the 80s that I really wasn't old enough to love to watch,
And
because
Freddy
they were
Krueger, surely.
back in those days. 18s meant 18s.
Yeah.
I've watched them, and all 3 of those films I've seen too many times to count, and they're
His is the only quote though that I remember from all of the Alien films.
It's in the walls, man. It's in the fucking walls.
Like, yeah, just everything he says in that film, like his paranoid character.
Game
is-
over,
is-
man.
Well,
Yeah.
I think he also is kind of a bit. He's your lens in that movie.
Yeah.
In that you go on the journey with him at the start, and they're like, "We're the Marines. We're going to kick ass," and he's like, "Going to kick ass," and he's making jokes. And the best line in it is, "How do I get out of this chicken shit outfit?"
Yeah.
I just fucking love it.
Yeah.
Apparently, he had to keep apologising to Carrie Henn, who played Newt, because he kept swearing. And then apparently she admitted later that she didn't mind, mainly because she didn't really understand what any of the words meant.
Amazing.
Well, I think his character. You go in with, you probably know what the alien is
Yeah.
going into that movie.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not worried because they've got all of these guys
Yeah,
going and they've got guns and everything. Because you don't know, ignore the special edition, you don't know there's fucking loads of them.
Yeah.
And he goes in and you follow his character arc to some extent because he goes in all cocky and then the ambush happens, and they get fucked up, and then he loses his shit. For
Which is what
like
most of us would actually do.
For 45 minutes in that movie before he gets put in a position where he really has to stand up and be counted, and he just fucking it feels like forever, but it's probably about 5 seconds. He's just the coolest thing in that movie, and he's just fucking hosing them down.
Yeah.
The word fuck is used 25 times in the film, and 18 of those were used by Bill Paxton. Hudson, yeah. There you go.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love that film, and he's the best thing in it.
Yeah, he does his character, that paranoia and the losing his shit, like any normal person probably would in that situation. Even a well-trained person, when they come up against those odds, kind of keeps you connected to the whole group of characters in the film. Even though you know Ripley's like the one from the first film, and she's gonna, you know, and then you got Newton, and like, oh, they can't kill a kid, you know, because you wouldn't do in films back then, very rarely. And then you've got all the other guys, and you're like, well, they're kind of arseholes, so I don't really care. Whereas him, he starts freaking out, and you're like, he's an arsehole like the others, but actually, I kind of feel for him. I kind of want him to sort of get through this, so you kind of end up, I think he keeps you connected to the real situation and the story.
Can I just say, the scariest thing in that movie has got nothing to do with the aliens. The scariest thing in the movie is when Bishop gets in that fucking tube, and then they weld it shut behind him, and it's just a camera shot of him doing that, like moving along on this fucking tube that's barely bigger than him, just in his elbows. And he's like, I've just got to do this for a mile, and I'm like, oh my god, I couldn't breathe doing that. That would just be the worst thing.
For me, it's just the darkness, like at the very beginning when they first get there, just the darkness and the sort of desolate scenery and stuff. It's just brilliant.
It's just James Cameron's bloody special effects, isn't it? They are just, again, fucking ahead of the game.
I think it's not even, there's not a lot of special effects in that movie. It's a lot of practical effects, and it's a lot of really good lighting and cinematography.
Yeah.
Because beautifully
and
lit.
model work
It's
as
so
well.
cleverly lit.
Like the model work of the vehicle.
So let's say it is bookended quite heavily with some effects, isn't it? But they're practical effects, aren't they?
Yeah. Like old school models, like moving along, doing the whole, as I call it, the Red Dwarf treatment, because they're still doing it that way. Well, I've picked 3 films that he's in. 3 things that he's in that not everyone now realises he's been in. So the first one I'm going to bring up is Stripes with Bill Murray and all those guys.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen
Is
Stripes?
this the zebra racing film?
No.
Well, that's Racing Stripes. That's why I've got that wrong.
No, Stripes, the army film. The army film with Egon and Venkman before they were Egon and Venkman.
Is this in the same vein as Good Morning Vietnam? It's a film about being in the army but not being at war.
Yeah, I don't think they're at war, but they basically get, like, they steal like an ultra camper thing that's been converted into a special military, like, operative vehicle transport that's got gadgets and everything in, and they decide to steal it. And he's in the film. I couldn't tell you where.
Alright.
It's that small a role, but I thought I'd bring up things that he's been in that people don't necessarily know he's in. It's been a long time since I've seen Stripes, so out of the 3 I've picked, that's the only one where I don't actually know what part he played.
He's done a lot of bit parts like that, though.
Yeah.
Lots of little bits, like the gang leader in Terminator, for instance.
That was one of his first roles, yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't
Nice
realise
for a
until
walk.
I think it just happened to be on television one day, and I just flicked it over at that point. And I was like, fuck me, it's Bill Paxton. Is he doing that?
Yeah.
I didn't. I've seen this film a ton of times.
I always know it was him. Did you not know that was him?
Well, no, I think I saw it way before I would have paid any attention to who.
One thing in life is always remembering, like, actors who had really little roles in things, but that's it. Like the black guy just goes, "What the hell?" at the beginning. I think there's a couple of things I thought, oh, I know that guy is. That's my thing in life, is just recognising shit actors.
I'd have been 7 years old when I saw that movie, something along those lines. So
Yeah.
I think, in honesty, the only actors I would have known by name would be the big stars. Did you pick any others out?
Yes, I did. I'll give you both of mine because it's interesting. So a more recent film that a lot of people didn't recognise him in, which is ridiculous because it's obviously him, but a lot of people didn't realise, was Edge of Tomorrow.
Ah, yeah.
Where he played the sort of general, or I don't know what rank he is, but the dude that basically
I'd say it's the rank
shacks
of
him.
legend.
Legend. Yeah,
That's
we'll
his
go with
rank.
that. Yeah.
Is he just Hudson? An old Hudson?
It basically,
If he's Hudson, and Hudson survived, they'll be.
And they went back in time. Because it's
Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow, and then had a go at Tom Cruise and.
Let's face it, he's never been a method actor, has he? But we like him because of who he is and the delivery of every role. He's got grit. He's always got roles with loads of like wit and content.
Yeah.
See, I think his character in True Lies is Hudson if he wasn't a Marine.
Yeah.
If he didn't go into the army, that's who he would be.
That scene is amazing. It stands out in the movie.
When he pisses
doesn't
his
it?
pants.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Whereas his character in Shield, the TV series.
Oh yeah.
He is basically Hudson if Hudson had gone and worked for the Secret Service rather than being a Marine, and then turns out, spoilers to anyone who hasn't watched the first couple of series of Shield, turns out he's actually a Hydra agent.
And I love his demise in it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
He was in Frasier, apparently, the TV show, which I'm trying to watch through at the moment because I quite like it. It was in Tombstone.
I remember that in Frasier, yeah, bloody hell.
He was in Tombstone, which I've never seen.
Yeah.
I can imagine him
Well,
being in
yeah.
a Western, Bill Paxton. I imagine he'd
What else, Chris?
Apollo 13.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
What?
I know.
I saw that at the cinema at Herne Bay.
I think all these films I'm actually going to make a point of watching this week. Near Dark, vampire movie.
Oh, I don't like vampires. They get
He's
on my nerves.
in Navy SEALs.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, in a slightly less overblown and pretentious cut of Titanic, he would probably have not even been in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it didn't.
Yeah.
You don't need to. That film didn't need to be bookended with the dive of the Titanic, other than James Cameron wanted to dive the Titanic.
Yeah, because apparently the Titanic didn't do quite what James Cameron made it do when it sank. It wasn't
It's
quite
not the
that
only
extreme.
bit of unrealisticness in that film. I won't go into details. I'd like to mention one of my personal favourite Bill Paxton films, which was made 10 years after Aliens, which was Twister. Which is just in case, for me, that's the perfect hangover film. It's just
Such a good,
it's just
easy
a
to watch,
good
isn't it?
film.
Yeah.
And it was the first movie ever released on DVD and the last movie ever released on HD DVD. There's a little fact for you there.
Yeah.
And apparently, in the original release, there's a shot where Philip Seymour Hoffman gets excited and lifts his legs in the air, and you can clearly see his testicles hanging out of his shorts. And they edited it out on DVD, so get the VHS, and apparently it's still there for any people that like testicles.
Do you still have a copy?
Well, yeah, it's in my wank bank, but I've still got it. Yeah. I love Twister. I think it's a phenomenal.
It's
film.
such an easy to watch, like
It's a
film with
great
a bit of
90s
tension and a
sort
bit
of
of
action
excitement and some cheesy lines, and yeah, I haven't watched it in years, but it is a Sunday afternoon film.
I've not seen it since I was a kid.
ITV2 play it like every week. So
I'd love to watch it right now,
Yeah.
to be honest. What I guess is going to be his last picture. The murmurs suggest it's going to be like a surprise hit of the year. Is The Circle? Have you guys seen any promo for it?
no.
No, nobody. So it's kind of like a, I suppose it's set ever so slightly in the future. So near future science fiction. I've heard it being likened to Black Mirror, that sort of thing, with like a big multi-million-dollar company like Google or Facebook that own all information.
Yes, Emma Watson.
Yes, Emma Watson.
I've seen the trailer.
And I think Bill Paxton is playing her father, if I'm not mistaken. But apparently it's going to be one to watch. Have you guys seen A Simple Plan?
No.
Fuck me, it's good.
The
It's
plot
bloody
blurb on IMDb is with two brothers, one a mild-mannered hardware store manager, the other an unemployed slob, and a friend stumble onto $4.4 million of stolen cash. The newfound booty leads Hank, the store manager, with the help of his cunning wife, to great lengths to keep the money a secret from local authorities. The three men begin to doubt each other's trust, which leads to shocking results of lies and deceit.
Actually sounds quite good.
It's very good. It's definitely worth a watch.
Very simple story. Three people found a load of money, could be rich, but kind of got to hide it. Probably either start spending it and it becomes too obvious, or they all start going against each other because of the trust issue.
So I'd like to just mention, we've overlooked that he was in the 2004 smash hit Thunderbirds, playing Jeff Tracy.
Yeah.
Seen it.
Yeah.
I've
Don't,
never seen
it's
that.
awful.
I've heard it's bad.
They had Ben Kingsley as the Hood.
They did.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
they
actually,
did.
like, he's the best bit of the film.
It's
Weird like
not.
that.
It's not a good film.
Have you guys seen Nightcrawler?
I haven't yet.
Fuck
This
me.
is Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. So, right, Jake Gyllenhaal's character is looking for work, and Bill Paxton is one of these like pro kind of
Wrestlers?
sleazy. No, not a wrestler. A sleazy like news paparazzi, first on the scene at accidents and stuff, getting all gory detail and selling it to the highest bidder with the news companies. And Jake Gyllenhaal like is trying to get on that wagon and like approaches him for a job and stuff, and it's all so dark. It's all incredible, in honesty. Everybody, all of their parts are fantastic. Everybody acts it really, really well.
Is it entirely fictional, not based on
It's
anything?
entirely
or-
fictional,
Okay.
yeah. And there's not too much I can say about it, in honesty. That's pretty much the movie. Dark things happen. It's very bleak.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal lost so much weight for the role.
Right. What, machinist level weight?
I
Like
think
apple and a
kind of,
coffee?
yeah.
Really?
I think not machinist, but perhaps, you know,
Close to that.
unhealthy
Yeah,
amount
yeah.
of weight.
A percentage of the machinist was makeup as well, though, wasn't it?
No, he literally lived on an apple and a cup of coffee a day, and he got so mentally fatigued because of his body damage.
This is Christian
They
Bale.
had to hold up giant signs with his lines on in the background for him to be able to know what he had to say for certain bits of it. He
Whoa.
fucked himself up and then went to Batman weight pretty much
Let's
straight after.
not ruin homage
yeah.
to Bill Paxton by
Anyway,
talking about Christian
yeah,
Bale.
that's a good point.
Yeah, that's not good.
Please go and watch Nightcrawler.
Or watch Aliens, even if you've seen it.
Oh, watch the special edition. The extended version.
If you've seen it already, watch the special edition.
I think
If
it's
you've
one of
never
the best
seen it, don't
special
watch it.
editions ever released. And as a like a 15-year-old kid, I was fascinated. Has anyone else got another?
You've got another one, haven't you,
I
Ross?
just want to mention really briefly the tiny little part he plays in Weird Science, where he plays
Yeah.
the older,
Oh, yeah, the older brother.
douchey titbag brother Chet, who's like
Chet!
I think it's Chet. What's the name of his? Is it Wyatt? His brother. Well, anyway, he's a fucking. He's just a wanker, and he gets turned into a giant turd, and it's just fucking brilliant. He's just.
I love that
There's
film.
literally a scene where he spends 5 minutes of the movie, and he's like Pizza the Hut if Pizza the Hut was a poo.
Poots of the Hut.
That's what we should do once a month for a laugh. Just let, for the audience might like this idea, they might not. I think once a month we take one of those cheesy 90s films like Biodome, like
Oh,
Weird Science, something like
Spaceballs,
that,
yeah.
Spaceballs, and we all sit down with a drink, watch it, and do a
Commentary.
commentary. I think that's what we
Sweet.
do with our once a month bit of fun, because that would be a great place to start Weird Science.
Oh, yeah, but it's too good though.
No. But there's that element of cheesy 90s-ness to them. Like, you know, California Man, there's some that are really bad, and then there's some that are okay, and then there's some that are great.
California Man's got a really weird name in
Encino Man.
because it's
Because
like
it's in
named after
Encino in
weird
California.
like so many places in California
Yeah.
got weird names, and it's like
Yeah, we wouldn't know Encino over here, so they called it California Man.
Just for us.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
America.
what have you all been snooming?
I haven't.
Consnooming.
I
Have you
haven't.
cons-
I bought Vikings 1-3 box set to start watching tomorrow, so.
You'll have snoozed something by next time.
Go on, Adam. What have you
I finished Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, because I started playing it, cowboy computer game by Rockstar, who made Grand Theft Auto, for anyone that doesn't know anything about it.
2009.
Yeah, I think it came out 2009, 2010. I don't know. Anyway,
It's one of the best games.
Yeah,
all
it's-
time ever.
I started playing it. Something happened in my version of the game which meant that no matter what I did, even without a wanted level, everyone on the map wanted to kill me,
That sounds brilliant.
and I could not fight them off and had no money for ammo, so I literally would load it up, die, respawn, die, respawn, die, so I got angry with it and left it. Came back to it a few years later, put it in because of watching Westworld. I was like, I need some cowboy computer gaming in my life again, so I went back to Red Dead Redemption
Great game.
and put it in and loaded it up, and lo and behold, no one wants to kill me, and I was able to play the game and finish it. So I
so
have
you
no
just had-
idea what happened.
You just had to wait for 8 years worth of patches.
Yeah,
And then
I was able to play
playing
it. Yeah. So yeah, I played it. I played through. I finished the storyline. It was awesome.
Are you looking forward to the sequel?
Trailer looks pretty good.
I'm not sure I understand what the sequel's going to be, because is it going to be his son? Because it looks like it's going to be...
let's just assume that it's... Oh, actually, a lot of people are saying it's probably a prequel.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. If it's a prequel and it shows the train robberies and how everything happened, they do the train robberies a bit better than they did in Red Dead Redemption, because the train robbery bits weren't
It's been nearly
great,
10 years since the last one.
Well, yeah,
right?
yeah. So I hope it's better. But yeah, the storyline was great. The character acting's good. The storyline's good. The sort of open, just riding around hunting.
Yeah, that's
the hunting's
so much
just
joy to be had just
Yeah,
plodding around in that game.
just killing a grizzly bear and like destroying and wiping out the buffalo. Wouldn't want to do it in real life, but to do it in that world in a game was
I
amazing.
love it when you skin an animal in that game and
Blood
you just,
goes
and-
all
no,
over
no,
the screen.
It's just the carcass is there with the meat and the muscles and everything on, but just no skin. So when you towards the end of the game, you can actually kill bears when you get up to the so there's literally this huge just lump of matter just in the middle of the screen where you've just skinned a bear.
Have you gone on to do Undead Nightmare?
Undead Nightmare
I ended up playing that as well. That's really good.
It is good.
I'm not an online gamer, so I haven't played any of the online stuff of these, because I get really angry with online gaming because people are pricks.
The only thing I remember
from I don't really do online gaming unless it's like with a couple of mates, but obviously everyone else has moved on to PS4s and
if I joined in on like the Call of Duty online gaming, I would be shouted at because I would be the guy just running into a wall and jumping up and down, and like people would really shout at me. I just want to have fun. I don't.
Exactly. Like, that's why I like Red Dead and stuff. If I could find mates to play it with, or the Ghostbusters game, like to play things like that together.
Or any other game.
It's...
I was going to say Donkey Kong Country, but I think.
But you know that for me, online is about working as a team with your mates and doing something.
Yeah,
co-op rather than just everyone shooting at each other.
Even when I play a competitive shooter, it's almost always Battlefield, and I almost always play it.
People where I used to work used to have an IT suite, and everyone used to go in there at lunch and play Counter Strike, and I'd come in and have a laugh, and they'd be like, "What are you doing? Who's you lot?" I'd be like, "It's only a game." Like, "No, it's not."
No, it's very serious.
Oh, fuck off. Bunch of
no, but then I like to have fun on those games, and something like Red Dead where it's open world, if you've got 4 or 5 mates and you just like riding along on horses, and then one of your mates is like, let's go down that canyon, and just jumps off it, you're all like, hey dickhead.
So,
that to me is fun.
If there's anyone out there playing a game and you think, oh, this is really serious, I'm going to shout at people down a microphone because it's like real life, you're a dick.
This is why I just
and you've got AIDS.
On your dick.
No, actual blood AIDS.
Hopefully you'll die from it and then no one have to put up with your bullshit online anymore.
This is why I just like playing Tekken.
On your own.
On my own.
You're not even against the CPU, just against playing
In practice
there's no one
mode,
there.
looking
at this dog. I wish you had thumbs.
I'm so sick of these combos now.
Just in practice mode, punching the air. Oh, amazing.
Every now and then I meet somebody else that can do all the 10 hit combos and King's 5 throw combos, and my life seems complete for a little while.
I've never been beaten.
Shocking that everyone listening to this that he's not a virgin, he does actually have a pregnant girlfriend. Anyway.
Entrapment.
This again.
I've also watched Trainspotting 2. I went to the cinema to watch that with my lady, and it was really good. I was really impressed with it. I thought it was a good carry-on, especially with the time frame from when the last one was. It actually connected and fit, and it wasn't quite the same feel, but then it was a very different bunch of characters because they'd had 20 years of life. So I don't know, I really enjoyed it.
Let's be honest, Danny Boyle would never have made it if it wasn't going to be anything other than what he wanted it to be.
Oh yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's like, I remember the conversation with my old boss when I was looking at the internet and I turned around and went, they're making a Trainspotting 2. Anyway, he was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then I just turned around and went, Danny Boyle's directing it. He's like, ooh,
well, that's all right.
Interested. No.
I've got to see it.
I haven't seen it yet, and it's on my to-do list.
I've still not seen John Wick 2. Anyway, Ross?
I
seen that
really
yet.
want to talk about a old video game that I've just completed. Dying Light is by a company called Techland, I think. The guys who did... You might have seen a really famous trailer for a game called Dead Island. It was all this backwards trailer. Really well done, beautiful bit of CGI. Had nothing to do with the game, but it sort of... That trailer it was so good it made it out of the noise booth of just video games, and people were looking at it and going, oh, that looks really, really good. Right, so they made this game called Dead Island. Their follow-up to it came out in 2015.
So the game's Dying Light.
The game's called Dying Light, came out in 2015. I never played it when it came out, and then the following year they brought out quite a substantial expansion where it was available standalone. This Christmas, Sony had a huge sale on their store and loads of games were hugely reduced, and so the special edition of this with all the expansion and everything was £16, so I picked it up because I heard a lot of good things about it. It's absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favourite games I've played in a long while. It is a first-person zombie survival game.
Right.
So picture a huge big open world city.
Yeah.
You are really good at parkour, and the way you
I've
survive
played this,
is you don't stay on the ground. So you can climb, and it's all done in first person. There's loads of really cool RPG elements, like the more you fight, the better you get, and you can unlock moves and skills and stuff. You have to pick locks on things. So when you can go down and you see a police van, and it will, there'll be cool shit in the back of it because it's a police van, and the better stuff is, the harder the lock is to pick. So you jump down and then you start picking the lock, and then you can hear the zombies coming up behind you and stuff, and you've got to try and get in there, get out, and then climb back up. Right? And it's got another cool, really good feature is it's got a full day and night cycle, and then at night, these zombies come out, and they're called volatiles, but and they are, imagine the zombies from I Am Legend, and they're really fast and they can come after you and stuff. So they sleep in the day and then they come out at night. So all your XP, anything you do at night gets you like twice as much XP and stuff. But it's fucking terrifying.
Right.
And so sometimes you'll get caught away from a safe zone, and your alarm will go off to tell you the sun's going down, and you have to leg it across the city to get to your safe point. And then most of the game, you spend, any time it gets near night, you get to a safe zone and you just sleep through the night, and then you go back out, get in the morning.
Is it the game where you've got like lights in certain areas set up, and you've got like so you could be going along the roofs of trains and jumping from train to the station roof, and then you've got like certain points on the map where it tells you you've got to kind of get to that point to turn something on to give electricity to a certain area to put lights on so you can travel safer through the night.
You arrive. The story's bullshit, but they weren't brave enough to just make you Joe Normal in a zombie outbreak. Let me preface this by saying that it's a made-up town, but it's an imaginary town that's in Turkey. I'm assuming it's Turkey because like some of the things you pick up is like baklava and stuff like that gives you health when you open cupboards. I think, and the city's called Haran.
I love baklava.
It's too sweet. It's too sweet.
I don't even know what it is.
Turkish dessert.
So you parachute in like you're like an army special ops guy or some wanky shit like that. They weren't brave enough to make you just a Joe.
Yeah.
Like, what would have been really cool is
if you're just a free runner.
You're just not even. You maybe somebody teaches you. Maybe you have to get better at free running. But the great thing with the game is it starts quite hard because you've got really shit weapons and there's shitloads of zombies.
Yeah.
And there's like there are newly infected zombies still have some resemblance of their humanity, and when you hit them they're like, no, don't hit me. And they move really fast, like in 28 Days Later or the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Yeah.
Then you get the mass packs of normal zombie, and then you get like the mutant zombies, which are a bit really fit with the story, but are a bit Resident Evil. Whereas there's like these big ones that hold. Just because you're a big zombie doesn't mean you should carry a massive pole, but they do.
Right.
And there's ones that spit at you and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's fucking fantastic. Well worth playing.
Is it Dead Space scary?
At night, it's the most terrifying thing in the world. I've got these really fancy 7.1 surround sound headset, and I cannot play the game with them on.
I literally couldn't finish Dead Space or Dead Space 2. I tried starting both of them.
I've finished the first one. The second one, I don't think I've finished.
It just terrified the crap out of me.
The first one is quite scary. Yeah.
They're both really, really good.
It's like we were saying earlier on about something or other. Oh, maybe it was aliens.
Yeah.
It's not the stuff that's attacking you. It's the stuff that's not doing anything. It's the shadows that pass you by.
And the darkness.
It's
and
like
the sound.
It's like the descent. The bit where they get stuck caving at the start of the descent is far more terrifying than the fucking zombies in that.
Is that what that film's about?
Yeah, have you never seen it?
No.
It's one of the best horror films I've ever seen.
Yeah,
no, it's
that's
really
why I
good.
didn't bother watching it.
Gotta watch it.
That's a zombie film.
But the only other thing
no.
I really want to say about Dying Light is there's the expansion comes with the version that I bought.
Yeah.
And this takes you out of the city into the countryside, yeah? So what it does is, in some ways it's better, because it removes you in the city you're safe by verticality, so you climb and you're safe. In the city, in the countryside, your version of climbing things, you still can climb things, but there's not a lot of things to climb. Your version of that is you've got a buggy, yeah?
Right.
And you're pretty
So
safe
you're not
in
the
the
same
buggy because
character.
you are the same character.
Okay.
So the outside area is twice the size of the original game, but it's obviously a lot more sparsely populated. It's farmland and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And actually it lends itself, if you're really into zombie films and stuff, like the countryside's just as bad as the cities, if not more so in some respect.
Yeah, depending on where you are.
But the buggy's brilliant. So the buggy's the thing that keeps you alive.
Right.
In the countryside, because you can drive it around, and again that you can upgrade that gets better, and you can put a thing on the front to spike zombies on it, and you can get nitrous for it and stuff like that. But the terrifying thing is there'll be that one day where you go off road and the thing absolutely tanks it, and you'll go over a crest and you don't know that crest just drops into a lake, and then you've lost your buggy. And what's changed between that and the game where you're the part of the game where you're in the city is you've got nothing to climb up, and the nearest safe house is 2 kilometres away instead of 300 metres away. Ooh. And you've got to get back. The only way you can reset your buggy is at a safe house, so then you've got to traipse all through the woods and the countryside,
dodging everything,
because you can't take on whole hordes of zombies on your own.
Wow.
Did it take a long time to complete it?
Probably spent 30 hours playing both expansions. Yeah, so Dying Light, it's fucking fantastic. Play it if you haven't played it.
Cool.
Anything else, or have you been?
Weirdly, the part 2 of season 7 of The Walking Dead started. I'm three episodes in, and like
Sorry,
always,
which season? Sorry.
Part 2 of season 7.
Oh, yeah, so this is the most up to date season.
Yeah.
Right.
It has started, and like
so Negan stuff going on.
Like The Walking Dead it's either brilliant or it's the most boring TV show you've ever seen.
Cannot stand it.
And the last 3 episodes have been really, really good, because at the moment The Walking Dead's really, really good most of the time.
Right. See, I've gotten in the habit of just watching opening season episodes, closing season episodes, and the same for the mid-seasons. So I cut out all the bullshit, but kind of keep, an eye on what's going on with the plot.
I just want someone to put the best bits into shorter versions on YouTube. So like take series 1 and just put the important bits of the story and the good bits into one shorter video, so I don't have to watch all the rubbish.
I don't want to talk about The Walking Dead for hours, but like season 1 you could probably trim down to about 90 to 120 minutes. Season 2 you could probably trim down to about 3 hours. Season 3 you could probably cut out entirely, and then the first half of season 4 you could, and then I think season 5 is the really good season where they, like season 5, they leave the prison, and I think it is good for the whole
where they go
season.
and find the little church and
and Fear the Hunters.
Didn't like it.
And it ends with the big they're surrounded in a barn, but a tornado whips through and murks all the zombies.
Luckily.
And then season 6, anytime they get somewhere too comfortable and too safe, the show slows down, which the comic does. But the comic doesn't matter because it takes you 5 minutes to read it.
Yeah.
And it does. And actually, you care about the characters much more in the comics.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
you've developed all the characters
sense.
over like how long has the comic been out? Like 12 years or something now, isn't it?
ridiculous.
I just caught up with it this week actually. Got up to date.
I'm probably about 6 months behind.
It's always worth doing that though, isn't it? Because they're quite short.
Yeah.
Collect up a load that you've not read for 6 months and just go for it. 12 episodes, boom.
I'm annoyed that I stopped. When I caught up with the graphics, that I started reading the comics. I should have just waited for the graphics because I'd much rather have the graphics on. Although I did sell my comics for like $1,000, so I would rather. Yeah, I nearly £1,000 for all those.
That's pretty good.
50 issues of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Issues 50 to 100, and I reckon I got between £10 and £30 per issue.
Nice. Very
Not
nice.
£1,000, £800 it was.
Yeah,
Still.
yeah.
But it was-
That's
yeah,
good. It's very good.
And all I had to do was buy some backing boards and sell them one at a time. If you can be bothered, sell them one at a time.
That's how I always sell my comics, unless it's like a selection that I know people want to buy as a selection.
But yeah, The Walking Dead is currently good,
Okay.
apart from Eugene.
I might tuck into the latest season. Oh yeah, did you hear about Dave Chappelle being spotted with Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl?
Isn't that because he did the piss take thing for Saturday Night Live?
Who knows?
Because Dave Chappelle did that piss take of the killing of one of the characters with a baseball bat.
He
Or
did the
doing
Megan
a-
scene.
He did
with the
like
baseball bat.
Oh, did
all
it?
his own all his own characters from his TV show knelt down in front of him, and there's one that's like a blind black guy that thinks he's white, like 'cause he doesn't know he's black, and then there's
That's fucking
then there's this
brilliant.
crackhead character, and then there's like the sort of piss taker James Brown character that he's got, and a couple of others. There's one guy who kind of just is like I think to the black community he's like the whitest black guy. He's like really posh and wears smart cardigans and stuff, and he's got all those characters from his show knelt out in front of him, and he's just like stood there like with a baseball bat giving him shit.
I think it was
There's
for Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
There's
Saturday
a
Night
really
Live,
good old SNL sketch of Eddie Murphy whiting himself up,
Right.
and then going into places and doing things like and getting shocked by the result of it. Like he goes into like the newsagents to buy a newspaper, and he's like, but he's obviously trying to be really straight backed as well, and he's like, "Hello, I've come to buy a newspaper and not steal it, and here is some of my money." And the guy and the newsagent just turns around and goes,
"It's good."
"Just take it. We won't say anything." And then he goes into the bank and he's like, "Hello, I would like to borrow some money, please." And this guy goes, "Yes, let me just speak to my manager." And the manager comes in, he's like, "Oh, hello, Mr. White. We can lend you all of this money." But obviously it's way more poignant because it was from the 80s as well.
But that's the thing,
it's
SNL back then was great. Like that Dave Chappelle sketch was funny because it was taking the mick out of Walking Dead and that. But most of the modern SNL
Yeah.
stuff I do not like. Like most of the modern stuff is rubbish.
So, I watched Moonlight last night. The
One that won the Oscar.
yes.
What is it?
Okay, it's not what you'd expect. I don't think, as far as a Best Picture Oscar is concerned, I don't think it's going to be the Best Picture for everybody. I think it's very humanist, and I don't think it's too spoilery to tell people that it's about, in reality, it's about coming of age homosexuality in not so much in the hood, but in the black struggling class environment
In America.
in America.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and it's slow. It's very patient, and it's set into. It's broken up into 3 very distinct acts, and each one of them is a decade apart.
Oh, okay.
I think the craftsmanship in it, and the way that it's shot and everything, the story is poignant and touching, but like I say, it's not going to be for everybody. I think a lot of people might struggle to understand why it got Best Picture.
Do you understand why it got Best Picture?
As a work of art, it's beautiful.
Like just visually, or
Not just visually. I think it's got some stuff to say, and for a specific cross section of the world, it might be quite a.
Is it not stuff that's been said before in other films,
Well,
or is it?
How many films do you know of that deal with how it might be to be a homosexual in black ganglands, in the hood?
No, there's not. No, I can't think of any. No.
So it's kind of a new-ish subject matter.
Yeah.
People are touting it to be up there with some of the great movies about homosexuality. So Brokeback Mountain and
Milk.
You know, yeah, there you go.
Milk's fucking brilliant. I watched it on the plane back from America.
Tasty.
I think I preferred it to Manchester by the Sea,
I haven't seen that.
which is also a very slow-paced, humanist movie, which also won an Oscar actually. Won an Oscar for Best Actor, and the chap's name is, I'm going to have to Google it, it's Casey Affleck,
Okay, yeah.
who I think has been putting in storming bloody parts for a long time, and he certainly deserved to get Best Actor for Manchester by the Sea more than the chap from Moonlight deserved to get Best Supporting Actor. Just my opinion.
Right.
But it's quite good that he got Best Supporting Actor, I think, because he's, well, not only the first black person in a while to get an Oscar, first bloody black nomination for 2 years, but
In a lot of the movie industry as well. Some of the other awards
Do you mean
last
the
year.
first black person outside of Denzel Washington to win anything?
Mahershala Ali took home the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. That's important because he's the first Muslim to take an Oscar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I kind of have it in my head that, you know, Donald Trump's staff were probably holding him back from sending some tweets on the night of the Oscars.
Amazing.
There we are. And I started reading Marvel's Runaways in preparation for
Brilliant.
perhaps the TV series. I don't know if I'll carry on reading it. I'm looking forward to the TV series. I'd like
Yeah.
to see how the hell they're going to translate some of that to the screen.
Gert and a velociraptor.
Yeah, for instance.
Having a pet velociraptor, that would be amazing if they managed to get that into a TV show.
Spoiler alert. Anyway,
That's it for this week.
I'm going to go and eat some pancakes.
Yeah, it's Pancake Day today when we recorded this.
Happy
so-
Shrove Tuesday,
Yeah.
everybody. We shall look forward to seeing you next week. This podcast will be available on YouTube as well as all good podcast platforms.
We should be on the App Store, not the App Store, we should be in iTunes and on the podcast app and the Google Play Store this week.
Awesome.
Adam, where can they find you on the internet?
Well, my artwork, spoken word and teaching platforms are at Adam Gattrell Arts on Facebook. I will have a website up and sorted soon. Or on YouTube, just look up Adam Gattrell.
We haven't got anything for Bobbin because he just said goodbye.
He left early to eat Domino's, so he's probably got stomach aids now. Sometimes he does stand up apparently.
Bobbin Dixon Comedian on Facebook.
There you go. Ross, where do they want to find you?
Just follow me on Twitter. I'm Roscoe Murphy. I've got 100 followers now.
Wow.
It's like 99 more than me.
Cool. We've got a Snoo with the Crew Twitter account.
Yeah, we'll
Hanging
start
around
using
there.
that once we've got.
We'll perhaps we'll think about linking that below if it's ready to go. And me, you can find me on Facebook with Chris Quinton's Music and Things, which has got absolutely nothing on it, so don't go there. More importantly, we're going to leave links to stuff that we've been talking about below. Thank you very much for listening, and say goodbye, Ross.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye, Bobbin.
Goodbye.
I've just edited him in. How clever. Anyway, yeah. Say goodbye, Adam.
See you later, it's bye and stuff.
And goodbye from me. Bye!
Alan Moore is a wizard.
Who's a wizard?
Alan Moore is a wizard.
Alan Moore.